What's up everybody, it's Seth from Fowler Customs, and today I'm reviewing the brand new Adidas NMD R2. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet, but with all that being said, let's get into it. So the Adidas NMD has been one of the most popular silhouettes of the entire year. It's been wildly successful. For most of the year, you couldn't even walk into a store and grab one. You either had to wait in line or get really lucky online, and even then it was still kind of rough. But it's finally gotten to the point where the shoe is more widely available. There's a bunch of different colorways, and so I guess Adidas decided it was time for a sequel. And here's that sequel, the NMD R2. Before we can get into the review of the shoe itself, we have to take a look at the box. And here it is, the NMD R2 Prime Knit box in this really nice matte black finish. You've got Adidas's logo debossed into the side. You've got the 3 stripes debossed around the top and the side of the box. Trying to record videos after work is tiring, and that's what this is for. I hate it. It tastes like crap, but you know what? It keeps me awake. Other than the size, the box is actually almost identical to the original NMD R1 Prime Knit box. On the front of the box, you got the size tag. It's a size 9, which is my true size. I picked up the olive and black colorway, and one thing I noticed when I looked at the box is that if you look at the picture of the shoe right there, the colors are actually inverted. Where the black is should be olive, and where the olive is, it should be black. I'm not sure if that was a mistake by the graphic designers or maybe the colors weren't finalized yet, but with the box out of the way, let's get into the shoes. And as you saw before, here they are again, the NMD R2 Prime Knit. Even though the shoe looks pretty similar to the R1 at first glance, it's actually pretty different. The first and most obvious difference is that on the lateral side of the shoe, you no longer have the signature NMD plugs. You know those colored foam guys on the front and the back of the boost? These guys? Well, with the R2, you no longer have them. And personally, I think that actually makes the shoe a little bit more comfortable. Adidas added these little perforations on the back of the shoe just to kind of give it that plug look a little bit, but it's not even that noticeable. And unlike the NMD XR1 where the front plug is flush with the rest of the boost, this just straight up does not have a front plug. However, on the medial side of the shoe, you do still have a giant plug. Not only is it still there, but it's actually larger than it was on the original R1s. I actually don't mind the way this plug looks. In fact, I kind of like how bold it is, but one thing I will say is that when you actually wear the shoe, you really kind of feel this plug in your arch. It sort of feels like arch support a little bit, but at the same time, it kind of feels like it shouldn't be there. It didn't bother me too much, but that's something to keep in mind. But moving up the shoe, you've got this really nice olive and black Prime Knit upper. The Prime Knit itself actually feels a little bit thicker than previous NMDs, and I will say that actually helps make the shoe fit a lot better. On the original NMD R1s, I grabbed a size 9, which like I said before, was my true size. However, I still had a lot of toe room and the shoe felt really big, but it feels like with the R2, they've really fixed that problem. I got the size 9 as I mentioned, and it fit great. It fit perfect. My toe was right in the right spot. It didn't feel like there was any loose areas or any areas that had too much space. Honestly, it felt great. So if you're looking to grab a pair of these and you get a chance to try these on for yourself, I would do that just to make sure that the sizing is correct. But I'm pretty comfortable saying that you should probably go true to size with this shoe. Of course, another obvious difference between the R2 and the R1 is this sort of linear pattern that moves around the toe box and kind of swirls up the shoe. What's interesting is that they've actually made this almost a 3D pattern. Like you can really feel it when you rub your fingers across it. It's not flush with the rest of the Prime Knit. That's not something you'll notice when they're on feet, but it's just something to keep in mind. Also gone are the plastic lace eyelets. Now the lacing goes through the Prime Knit just like it does on the Yeezys. Personally, I think this gives the shoe a much more streamlined look, which I actually prefer. Of course, you've got the Adidas 3 stripes branding on the side in this olive color. Of course, because this is a Prime Knit NMD, you've still got this sock-like stretchy Prime Knit area. Personally, I don't mind the way this area looks. It actually helps the shoe fit closer to your foot. And I know a lot of you guys probably don't care about it at all, but a few people that I've talked to about it who aren't sneakerheads really just hate the aesthetic of it and they think it kind of ruins the shoe. But I mean, hey, if you don't like it, just don't buy the shoe. It's not really that big of a deal. Moving to the back of the shoe, you've got this faux suede heel counter, and then of course you've got your brand with 3 stripes pull tab running through the middle of it. On previous NMDs, the text has been white, but on this particular pair, it's actually in silver. Of course, as I mentioned before, you've got your boost midsole, which is very, very comfortable, especially when it's paired with the Prime Knit. However, this shoe is not as comfortable as the Ultra Boost, so if comfort is your main concern, then I would go with the Ultra Boost. And finally, moving to the bottom of the shoe, you've got this olive colored outsole. The only difference between this outsole and the previous R1 outsole is the toe area and the heel area, and that's really only a traction pattern difference. You're not going to notice it at all when it's on feet. Overall, this is definitely a worthy successor to the NMD R1. It's a more streamlined shoe visually, and even though I'm not a huge fan of this pattern on the Prime Knit, I don't mind it too much. Not only that, but a lot of the changes that they made to the shoe actually really help with fit, so it's a much more comfortable shoe than it was in the past. And at least for me, it fits true to size, which a lot of times isn't the case with Adidas shoes. It's not a bad shoe. Now that we've got the review out of the way, let's throw these guys on feet and see how they look. That's pretty much it for the video, guys. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below, letting me know what you think of the NMD R2 and if you prefer it to the NMD R1. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to Fowler Customs if you want to see more content just like this, and follow Fowler Customs on all other forms of social media.